Chapter 1, The Whisper of the Birch Forests. Feel the coolness of the mist on your skin and the scent of damp earth. We leave the heat of Australia for the dense forests and snow-capped peaks of Eastern Europe. The number 1 is the number of fluidified identity. I am the village, or Samodiva, a Slavic nymph of the woods, waters, and clouds. I am not a creature of solid ground like the serpent, nor a devourer of hearts like Amit. I am made of wind and light. The initial ethical conflict is the ambiguity of nature. Unlike other pantheons, we, the villages, are neither purely good nor purely evil. We are a reflection of nature's own mood. We can heal a wounded warrior with secret herbs or drive him mad with a frenzied dance under the moonlight. My form, I appear as a beautiful woman, wearing white gauze robes so fine they seem made of spiderwebs. But look at my feet, they may conceal goat or horse hooves, a reminder that my essence is wild. The dilemma: does the human who enters my forest seek a miracle or merely wish to possess my beauty? I fly above the ancient oaks. If you hear laughter that sounds like silver bells or a song that silences the birds, know that I am nearby. But do not be fooled by my lightness. I carry the power to summon hailstorms if the balance of my territory is threatened. Chapter 2, The Dance Circle and the Sacred Ground. Feel the rhythm of the earth beneath your feet. The number 2 represents reciprocity and limitation. When the moon reaches its zenith, we, the villages, gather in hidden clearings to dance the kolo, or horo. Where our feet touch the grass, the green grows stronger, forming perfect circles known as fairy rings. The ethical conflict here is the invasion of sacred privacy. In Slavic mythology, the dance space is a portal between the visible and invisible worlds. If a human interrupts our dance, they break a harmony that sustains the growth of plants and the flow of water. Look how they gaze with covetousness, whispers my sister, whose hair is strands of mist. They don't want to learn the music, they want to steal our veil. The dilemma is freedom versus possession. The myth: they say that if a man steals a villager's veil or wings, she becomes his prisoner and must marry him. The ethics: is a love based on the theft of freedom love or a curse? A home built upon the capture of a wild spirit is destined for ruin. If you find one of these circles, the law is clear: respect the boundary. If you enter the circle with a pure heart and ask permission, we can teach you the secrets of herbs that cure blindness or prolong life. But if you enter with arrogance or a desire to capture, we will make you dance until your heart stops, or turn you into a weeping willow by the riverbank. Joy is our strength, I sing, as I twirl, my feet barely touching the dew. But our joy is not to be consumed, it is to be celebrated from afar. Beauty that one tries to cage loses its color. Chapter 3, The Ladies of Herbs and Destiny. Feel the penetrating aroma of rue, absinthe, and wildflowers. The number 3 represents alchemy and hidden knowledge. While the Rusalkas are known for their aquatic melancholy, we, the villages, are the keepers of the earth's recipes. We know every root that sleeps beneath the Slavic soil and every dewdrop that falls on a solstice night. The ethical conflict here is the price of the miracle. The villages are often sought out by desperate humans: the peasant whose child is burning with fever, or the warrior who desires an arrow that never misses its target. We have the power to heal and the power to bless, but our ethics are not human charity, they are balanced exchange. Here is the herb that will bring life back to your little one's blood, I say, extending a bundle of St. John's wort harvested under the crescent moon. But what will you leave in return for the forest? The dilemma is dependence versus self-sufficiency. The risk: the human who receives a gift from a village without offering anything in return, be it an offering of honey, a piece of bread, or the commitment not to cut down a specific tree, becomes indebted to fate. The consequence: today's cure can become tomorrow's drought if gratitude is not cultivated. We are the healers of the invisible. If you are kind to the animals and protect the water sources, we will whisper cures in your dreams. But if you enter the forest violently, the same herbs that heal can become the poison that paralyzes. Nature gives nothing for free, it only lends its strength to those who know how to honor it. In this chapter, we reveal that destiny is not a straight line written by distant gods, but a web woven between human will and the permission of the spirits of the earth. Chapter 4, The Warriors of Wind and Cloud. Feel the atmospheric pressure drop dramatically. The number 4 represents the structure and protection of the territory. Forget for a moment the image of the delicate nymph gathering flowers. When the sky darkens and the clouds pile up like mountains of lead, we, the villages, exchange our veils for silver bows and mount horses made of pure lightning. The ethical conflict here is violent justice versus passivity. In Slavic tradition, the villages are the natural defenders against the zmu, dragons, and the forces that bring devastating droughts or hailstorms that destroy crops. We don't just inhabit the forest, we fight for it. Hear the crackling of fiery manes. I shout, as we ride the upper air currents. The hail will not fall on the village that honored us, but but the storm will wash away the castle of the Lord who polluted the river. The dilemma is the burden of defense. The action: to protect a region, we often need to redirect the fury of nature. To save a valley, we may sacrifice a peak. The ethics: who decides which part of the earth deserves the rain and which deserves the lightning? Our justice is ecological, not social. We protect what is vital to the ecosystem, not necessarily what is convenient for men. At this stage, we show that the sweetness of the village is only one side of the coin. We are unerring archers. Myths say that our arrows never miss and that we can take down even the strongest of heroes if they dare to defy the natural order. Do not confuse our lightness with weakness. The wind that caresses the flower is the same that uproots the oak. We ride the hail clouds, whipping them away from the fields of those who keep tradition alive, but allowing the fury of the water to fall upon the greedy. We are the immune system of the Slavic landscape. Chapter 5, The Pact with the Heroes, the Brotherhood of Blood. Feel the warmth of a campfire on a cold night. The number 5 represents the bond and the alliance. Although we are beings of the wind, sometimes we encounter a human spirit whose courage or pain shines brighter than others. This is where pobratymstvo is born, the spiritual kinship that transcends the flesh. The ethical conflict here is transcendent loyalty versus wild nature. In Slavic tradition, a village can choose a hero to be its blood brother. I am not your servant, nor your wife, I am your ally. I protect you in battles, warn you of ambushes, and heal your mortal wounds. But this pact demands an absolute ethic of truth. Drink from this wine where I poured a drop of my light, I say to the warrior who faced the dragon to save his village. Now, my strength is yours. But remember, if you lie to me or betray the land, the pact will become your noose. The dilemma is the conflict of interests. The myth: the hero often needs to choose between following the orders of his, often corrupt, king or the word of his sister Vila. The ethics: loyalty to a human system, state/crown, is less than loyalty to the spirit and natural truth. Often, villas appear in Serbian and Bulgarian epics helping heroes like Prince Marko. We are the divine touch that allows the human to overcome their limits, but only as long as they remain just. If the hero becomes a tyrant, the villa that protected him will be the first to withdraw its blessing, leaving him vulnerable in the middle of the battlefield. A hero without a villa is just a man with a sword. A man with a villa is a myth walking the earth. Chapter 6, The Secret of Immortality, the Egg and the Needle. Feel the air grow icy and the silence weigh like lead. The number 6 represents the protection of balance through knowledge. We, the villages, are the librarians of the impossible. We know that death is not just an end, but sometimes a physical thing that can be hidden. The ethical conflict here is the corruption of nature through artificial eternity. In Slavic mythology, the greatest enemy of life is not death, but Kashii, the immortal. He is not eternal like us, he is a usurper who kidnapped death itself. He hid his soul, his death, inside a needle, inside an egg, inside a duck, inside a hare, inside an iron chest buried under a sacred oak. He thinks he cheated time, I murmur, pointing to the twisted roots of the oak. But nothing that breathes can be divorced from its end. By hiding his death, he turned his heart into a cold stone that knows neither love nor pain. The dilemma is access to truth. The myth: the hero can only defeat the tyrant if a village reveals the egg's location. The ethics: why do we keep this secret? Because absolute power without the threat of mortality becomes tyranny. We protect the location of Kashii's death not to save him, but to ensure that when the right hero appears, balance is restored. I teach that the immortality of the villages is organic, like the wind, while Kashii's is mechanical and selfish. True life demands that you accept your own fragility. He who refuses to die has never truly begun to live. Chapter 7, The Dew of Dark Valleys, the Water of Life and Death. Feel the cold, metallic touch of 2 crystal flasks in your hands. The number 7 represents the duality of regeneration. In the depths of Slavic caves, where stalagmites weep, we, the villages, distill the 2 fundamental essences of existence, the water of death, mrtva voda, and the water of life, ziva voda. The ethical conflict here is the order of restoration. Unlike what humans think, the water of death is not a poison. It has a sacred function. When the hero's body is torn apart in battle, we first pour the water of death over it. It heals the wounds, reattaches the severed limbs, and makes the body whole again, but it remains motionless, a perfect corpse. Only then do we pour the water of life to bring back the spark of the soul. Healing is a 2-step process, I whisper, as the steam from the magical waters envelopes my fingers. You cannot give life to what is still broken. Wholeness must precede animation. The dilemma is the manipulation of destiny. The risk: using the water of life on a body that has not been cleansed or united by the water of death results in a soul trapped in a suffering body. The ethics: as guardians of these waters, we decide who deserves to return. Immortality is a burden. Returning life to someone who has already fulfilled their purpose is often a cruelty hidden beneath the cloak of kindness. We teach that deep healing requires that we first accept the state of death, the end of what was broken, so that new life has a place to dwell. To be reborn, you must first accept that you were undone. Only what is whole can withstand the fire of the soul. Chapter 8: The Cry of the Mountains and the Echo of the Villages. Feel the vibration of the air against the bare rocks of the peaks. The number 8 represents resonance and transversal communication. In the high mountains, where oxygen is scarce and the view is vast, we, the villages, do not use human words to speak to one another. We use the cry of the mountain, village crick. The ethical conflict here is the sincerity of the voice versus the hypocrisy of the echo. Myths say that the echo is not just a physical phenomenon, but our response to what humans project onto nature. If you shout with hatred, the mountain returns hatred. If you sing with purity, the villages amplify your music until it reaches the ears of the gods. What you hear is not me, echoes my voice, multiplied by the granite walls. It is what you have brought within yourself. The mountain is a mirror made of sound. In this chapter, we explore the danger of mimicry. The myth: humans try to imitate the song of the villages to attract animals or to deceive their enemies. The consequence: imitating the voice of nature without possessing the spirit of nature is a form of cosmic deception. Those who try to steal our cry end up losing their own voice, condemned to eternal silence or merely repeating the words of others. The ethics I teach here are those of vocal vulnerability. Being truthful in what one says is the only way to be heard by the invisible forces. A village never lies. It may be enigmatic, it may be cruel, but its voice is always an exact reflection of its intention. The word is a seed of the wind. If you sow rotten seeds in the valley, do not expect to harvest a forest of songs. Chapter 9: The Feathered Tunic and the Farewell. Feel the absolute lightness, as if your body were about to dissipate in the morning light. The number 9 represents detachment and transition. For a village, the connection to the physical world is maintained by a subtle thread, our gauze tunic, or, in some lineages, a thin membrane of feathers that allows us to inhabit the clouds. The ethical conflict here is the vulnerability of essence. Despite being warriors and healers, our existence on Earth is conditional. If a human steals our tunic, they are not merely stealing clothing, they are stealing our autonomy, forcing the spirit of the wind to walk heavily on the mud. What happens when the invisible is forced to be visible? I ask, as my wings of light begin to fold with the arrival of winter. The soul withers, like a flower plucked from its root to adorn a dinner table. In this chapter, we explore the ethics of departure. The dilemma: villages do not belong to the linear time of men. When the forest is devastated or when the hero we swore to protect becomes unworthy, we do not die, we simply withdraw our presence. The lesson: the greatest punishment that nature can inflict on humanity is not the storm, but silence. It is the moment when the villages stop singing, the waters stop sparkling, and magic leaves the world. The death of a village is its oblivion. If men stop leaving honey on the roots of the trees or forget to respect the dance circle, we climb to the highest mountains and from there depart for the kingdom of Víly, the Slavic paradise. We are guests of your perception. If you lose the ability to see the sacred, we lose our reason to stay. Chapter 10: The Return to Víly, the Final Balance. Feel the weight of your body completely disappear, transforming into pure intention. The number 10 represents rediscovered unity. We have reached the end of the Slavic path. For a village, the final destination is not the grave, but Víly, the mythical garden where the sun never sets, the waters are milky, and the souls of birds and the pure rest during the winter. The final ethical conflict is the transcendence of memory. You have crossed the dance circle, known the herbs, flown through storms, and guarded secrets of immortality. Now, the cycle closes with the understanding that the village is not something you see, but the way you feel the world around you. Where I go, you go too, I whisper, as I transform into a column of golden light. For I am the gleam in the eyes of the one who protects the forest and the chill down the spine of the one who destroys it. The final ethic of the village teaches us presence in absence. Even when no more myths are told, nature maintains its dignity. The legacy of enchantment: the world is only disenchanted for those who have lost the courage to look beyond the obvious. The responsibility of the guest, Víly, is open to those who understand that life is a masquerade ball where the most important mask is that of kindness. The Slavic journey ends here. I leave you with an invisible tunic, the ability to see beauty in the cold and justice in the wind. Do not weep for my departure to the mountains of Víly, my final echo resounds. Plant a birch tree, respect the water source, and on the next full moon, pay attention to the silence. I will be there, dancing among the shadows. Slava. Glory. The journey through the forests and mountains of Eastern Europe is complete. You now carry the spirit of the village in your soul. The fog of Víly is dissipating. To which mythical realm does your soul wish to travel now?